There's two types of drivers out there. Drivers who know how to protect their investment and drivers who don't. Car owners who know how to get more miles per gallon and owners who don't. We're talking people who know their Schaeffer and people who don't. Which one are you? From cars to trucks to diesel workhorses, whatever you drive, there's a Schaeffer synthetic oil for you. Do you know your Schaeffer? Ask for it at an automotive retailer near you.
For generations, fans of IndyCar could only dream of stepping into the cockpit and feeling the rush of going wheel to wheel at over 200 miles per hour. Thanks to the latest in sim racing technology, we can get one step closer. Talented, fearless drivers battle it out in virtual race cars to claim supremacy at some of the world's most demanding tracks. This is the RIL, Schaeffer's IndyCar Series, presented by RaceBurst.
And welcome to a quick and abbreviated start here at Road Atlanta. Hello again, everybody. I'm Gary Gotza. Welcome to Race First coverage of round 9 of the Revolution Indy League Schaeffer IndyCar Series Summer 2022 season, coming to you from Road Atlanta, for Petit Indy, presented by Salem Oaks. As always, joining me in expert analysis in the booth this weekend is, as always, he's the weekend editor at Jalopnik.com and co-host of the Motorsport 101 podcast. Please welcome Ryan Eric King. And Ryan, let's get into it with this starting lineup. Starting from the pole, Nicholas Johnston looking to defend and add to his points lead. Bruno Miranda, P2. Caleb Bency, P3. Nate Grusowski, P4. Nate Seifert, Battle of the Nates, in P5. Hunter Ingrave, P6. Moving on, Johan Shirazi making his reappearance in the league this season, P7. Michael DeTurk, P8. Matt Houston with a great qualifying effort in P9. Dakota DeMay with a great effort in 10th. Will Weisberg III, World War III, looks like he is up in the competition today, P11. And Matt Cosgrove, 12th. Yoshikawa 13th, Gardner 14th, Spath 15th, Wang 16th, Isidro 17th, Hubbard 18th. Morera 19th, Miller 20th, Jasper 21st, Tucker 22nd, Miglin 23rd, Drew White 24th, Carswell 25th, Gavin Smith 26th, Moss 27th, Donchek 28th, Libertor 29th, Derek Smith 30th, and Christopher Kresge 31st. But I believe that there was a cap on the grid, and we are getting ready to go racing here. Did I get it all, Eric? Ryan? I'm sorry, Ryan.
It's okay, we got most of it, and it seems like everyone's through the first corner. Oh, we got a car heading off in the S's.
I thought we were watching practice when we got here. Like, I'm going to go for a drink, and all of a sudden I come back and we're lining up, and I go, no, that's not practice. We're lining up for a race, I've been told. Okay. Well, we are watching them right now heading through the far portion of the track here. We will be talking a lot about Road Atlanta here tonight. IndyCars have never raced here, although it has appeared on the IndyCar schedule, got canceled. The closest we've had here is an Indy Lights race. I can go back and look. I forget who won that one. Here comes Caleb Bency on the outside into the chicane here, challenging. Bruno Miranda.
I'm peeking inside in the one, but doesn't go for it.
Nate Seifert back from vacation, what have not. He is back in the lineup after missing the last couple in the FIS. Shirazi getting the run on the outside of Grushelski and getting it pulled off there. Team Supreme represented tonight, moving on up in the 5th spot. There's a track map. As we were saying in the pre-show to ourselves, it looks a little bit like a chicken drumstick or a pork chop. There you go. And Bruno Miranda to the lead.
I was worried he wasn't going to get the car stopped in time.
Top 4 start to pull away a little bit. So 45 laps tonight, folks. To be honest, I'm not really sure what a fuel stint is here anymore. Ooh, I think we get a car sliding off there. Everyone's together, so just a lot of sounds like a lot of friction of the tires there on the pavement. These alternate tires. Just about everybody up front has an alternate tire, with the exception of, and we'll put the camera on him, is Yoshikawa right there in that Team Watson purple car. He is on the primes. Next car on the primes, Dan Morera there in the 4D Racewear car. He is on the prime. So they are playing the long game while everyone else up front is playing the short and fast game. Caleb Vinci trying to look for his way around Bruno Miranda. Yeah. And Bruno's going to go to the inside. Oh, up the hill. And he pulls it off. And that is a racy Caleb, and I like seeing a racy Caleb, because after tonight, we have ourselves a race for the Lionheart IndyCar Series, and we need a racy Caleb to represent.
And when he went down the back straight on the last lap, he was clearly on the button, because his car had way more go than everyone else around him.
Well, he's only used the button once, amazingly enough. He must have got a really good run off the corner as well as using that button, but he's starting to pull away. He's got himself an 0.8 of a second lead going down the backstretch. Good portion of the field still grouped together there. This is turn 9, believe it or not. That little bend is a turn 9. This is turn 10, A and B. Turns are not named here. Typical American course.
Seems like Bensie's thriving, being out in front in the clean air.
Yeah, and I do know he loves his clean air, and, well, who doesn't? So normally, if I had a little time, I would be able to give you the unofficial fastest lap at a race course. We always do the unofficial qualifying fastest lap, because that's what we compare it to in the pre-show. However, since I haven't got a chance to do that, the recognized course record on this particular course is held by Christian Klein, if you remember him from the Formula One days. In an LMP1 car, a 107.056. So a 107.056. Let's go ahead and let's give you everyone's best lap in time here. We're right on that same pace. We're right on that same pace. I always tell people, especially that they're looking to drive IndyCar, and they're coming from the LMP1 and LMP2 ranks, I'm like, you probably have the easiest transition to IndyCar out of any other high performance or equal car of high performance that there is. If you go Formula One down to IndyCar, of course, you're going to be probably lacking the downforce and a lot of the tools and gimmicks that are in that particular car. But going from an LMP1, LMP2 car to an Indy car anymore is almost identical.
Yeah, roughly same power to weight ratio, same cornering ability. It's probably a reason why we see a lot of the IndyCar guys in IMSA during off weekends.
Speaking of IMSA, there's going to be an IMSA weekend coming to Indianapolis Motor Speedway, to the road course, so that will be good. Eventually a precursor, we think, to a endurance race. That everybody that lives around the track is going to love that.
Yeah, it's like, because they did say when, because they heavily imply that it will be an Endurance Cup round. When it comes to Indy, it will end in darkness, so
yeah,
you better be willing to stay up late that Saturday night until they're done racing.
Nicholas Johnson getting really close to Bruno Miranda there, backs off, coming into the chicanes. We'll try to set them up one more time when they reach the bottom portion of the racetrack and go back uphill again. As a course, this is a pretty fun course to drive in an IndyCar. You're on the throttle an awful lot.
Yeah, like I've driven other cars here. I've not driven the IndyCar here. But when you're in a downforce car like this around Road Atlanta, like you can carry so much speed through the S's. It is absurdly fast.
See if we any other battles brewing on the racetrack. Let's go back to 6th. There's Michael DeTurk, and he is in a battle with Will Weisbrod. This is a battle for 5th. This is the closest actually battle on the racetrack besides Miranda and Johnson at the moment. And actually Miranda and Johnson is getting a lot closer. Let's go back up to them. Coming through the chicane. They do have a lapped traffic in their way here. I believe that's Aaron Moss. Looks like we have some early outs that we haven't talked about. Jonathan Liberatore is shown and classified as 28th. Peter Donchek classified as 27th. Justin Miller, man, he's had a rough couple of races. He's going to help hurt in the standings. We'll talk about the standings here in a little bit. Finishing 26th, Gavin Smith 25th. And Dan Miglin in 24th. Matt Houston is in 23rd. He is he is shown 3 laps down, showing in the pits, or at least in the pits for a considerable pit stop. Aaron Moss, who we just saw as the lapped car coming up here. Aaron Moss is also shown a lap down with a early pit stop. Logan Spath in 21st is the first car on the lead lap. Let's see how this battle shakes out, and then we'll show everyone the point situation, because it's getting spicy with about 3 weeks, 3 more races to go.
Yeah, and it's gonna come down to literally positions on the track in the finale at Indianapolis.
Yeah, if anyone heard that, that's me cracking open a Coke. Okay. A couple weeks ago, we're doing an FIS race, and I cracked open a Sprite. And one of the racers after the race goes, "Oh, you can hear someone cracking open a beer." I'm like, no, no. It was a Sprite. Don't drink beer. Sorry. I'm not going to drink beer during a broadcast, that's for sure. We're not Harry Carey here. We're not Harry Carey. Oh, Bruno Miranda gets a little squirrely. Coming off of corner number 5. He keeps it under him, though. I think those red tires are shot. Yoann Shirazi up to 4th, just kind of slowly making his way up into this battle here. Nicholas Johnson again taking a look. Nope. Got a good run coming down the main straight here, going to the 1, looks like. Looks like he had some momentum, though. Nope. Now we go back up to the top of the hill. Turn 1 is a bit blind here. You don't know, or turn 2, excuse me. It's a bit blind at the top of the hill. Actually, it's more turn 3, sorry.
Yeah, you sort of have to know where the apex is and go for it, because you literally cannot see it, especially in an open wheel car.
Here comes Johnston again. Nope, not going to take a look there into 6. Coming through 7. Very fast portion of the racetrack right there. Then you're on the accelerator all the way down the straight here. This used to be, as we were talking on the pre-race show, back in their drug running days, the Winnington brothers used to use this portion of the racetrack as a runway to receive illicit shipments from overseas.
Yeah, it's like, what are they gonna do? It's like it's like, oh, we're gonna make sure they don't land at any airports. It's like they're gonna make their own airport.
As you see, there's plenty of room there on the backstretch, but yeah, of course, we're getting the battle for here. Third now as Shirazi is on the tail of Johnston. But yeah, the used to be the former owners of the facility were the Whittington brothers. And if you go back and watch IndyCar racing from the late 70s into the early 80s, so probably you want to max out at about 83, 84, somewhere in there. The Whittington brothers, there were 3 of them, I believe. They would always show up to Indianapolis with the latest March chassis, with the latest Cosworth engines, but no sponsor really on the side. I think one of them eventually got smart and did get some sponsorship, and I want to say from Simon Eyes, maybe? But really, they just drove really nondescript yellow cars, and they always had the latest equipment. And, well, when you don't have a sponsor on the side, and, well, if you're racetrack owners, they already know that you don't earn an awful lot of money, and you're getting an awful lot of money in a car, something's up. And so, yeah, they were kind of in that circle of John Paul Sr., John Paul Jr., Randy Lanier. Unfortunately, all those guys that were got caught for dealing drugs back in the 80s, mid-80s. And they eventually all got caught, and then the facility kind of fell into receivership. It has been purchased, and then of course their big event of the year is Petit Le Mans, where the IMSA series comes here and has themselves a pretty now prestigious endurance race.
Yeah, it's arguably the most prestigious endurance race outside of, you know, the traditional Triple Crown of endurance racing, Le Mans, Daytona, and Sebring.
Well, that battle between Shirazi and Johnston has settled down a little bit. We will go back up to our leader here, Caleb Bency. Oh, actually, we do have a bit of a battle going on in the mid-pack. We'll go back there. Here we go. Battle starting to Turk, Brody Gardner, Will Weisbrod, all nose to tail right now, and Yoshikawa starting to sneak in. This is a battle for eventually P5 going back to P8. So all in the top 10 right here, battling it out. We got the plain white wrapper. Oh, Brody Gardner getting squirrely. And I think he saved it going into the wall, but he gave up all that track position.
Yeah, just recollect yourself, get back on track, and try to gain the ground back.
Yeah, there's the Turk and the plain white wrapper, followed by the there in the Shank Racing livery of Will Weisbrod. Yoshikawa there, or Nagasiya Yoshikawa, he's in the that Team Watson purple. That is now pretty much, this is now a 3-way battle for the top 5. Let's get back up to the front here. Let's go ahead and bring up the current point situation. And that's not right. Well, we'll fix that. We'll grab the correct image. That's right. There we go. Nicholas Johnson, your leader over Caleb Bency, who is our race leader at the moment by a scant 5 points. 5 points separating the top two. Bruno Miranda, well, Caleb's over Bruno by 4, and Bruno is south of the lead by 9. So the top 3 solidly in this battle. Gavin Sanders not in today's lineup, is in 4th. He will lose ground to Nate Seifert, who's in the lineup, Dakota DeMay, who's in the lineup, Matt Houston in the lineup. Shane Coogan does not appear to be in the lineup today, so he will lose ground there in 8th. Nicholas Isidro, I believe, is in the lineup. There he is. He's currently showing in P15. Should make some way up. And like we said, Justin Miller with an early out. That's going to cost them because J.J. Wang is right behind him in the standings there, and Wang just worked his way up into the top 10. So that is your point standings coming out of Pocono. So this championship is not over yet.
Yeah, it's real close throughout the top 10, and a lot of these positions are going to most likely be determined during that last race at Indianapolis.
And that is JJ with a broken, he's a one-winged angel right now. He is minus a front wing. His left front plane is gone, and he is being tracked down by Joshua Tucker. And Brody Gardner's fallen back to 12th. That is, not sure who is in that. That's Hunter Ingrev. Who's actually a lap down at the moment. That's right behind JJ. As not for position, but JJ should have some pretty good straightaway speed right now.
Might pull a little bit to the side, but he definitely is going to have some straight line speed.
So we had a race here that I was doing a color commentary on back kind of when I started doing broadcasting. Here comes Ingrev to the inside. And JJ just wisely lets him go. And a good friend of the program, good friend of mine, Isaac Morris, was the pole sitter and dominated the race. And somewhere along the line, and we think it was coming downhill off the uphill portion down into the main straight area, that he somehow damaged his front wing. Ooh, Brody Gardner almost sent it. I don't know if Brody Gardner knows the car in front of him is injured. He might just want to bide his time. Currently watching this battle here on the racetrack. This is for 10th at the moment. And he damaged the wing during his first stint. Comes into the pits, gets it fixed, comes back out, wins the race. And we ask him in the interview, did you know that, did you know you had a broken wing, or how did your broken wing impact you during your first stint? Because we know it probably had to hold you up a little bit. And his reply was, what broken wing? So apparently you can race around here with a partially damaged wing, but right now we've seen JJ as he falls back in position to 11th. If you have a whole missing plane, it makes things a little bit tougher. But yeah, that was a very interesting answer from Isaac. What broken wing? Of course, I don't think he was he might not have been racing VR at the time, but as you know, being a VR racer, yeah, one of the things you can do is kind of sit up in the cockpit a little bit, and you can look down and see if your wing's damaged or not, if you don't have a crew chief. But he might not be able to do that. He might be racing on the monitor, but he is going to keep going as we are. We'll get you here a lap count. Coming quickly up to halfway through this event here, 19 of 45. I would imagine we got pit stops coming up relatively soon.
Yeah, especially for most of the field starting on reds.
So if you're just joining us, we had an abbreviated start here, but this is race first coverage of the RIL Schaeffer IndyCar Series. Coming to you from Road Atlanta, where we've completed 19 of 45 laps. Your leader right now is Caleb Bency. If you're enjoying Race First coverage of tonight's race, make sure you support the channel by smashing the like in tonight's broadcast. Feel free to share it with a friend or subscribe to the channel and click the bell so you are notified about future RIL events. And we have 3 more after this before we wrap up the season. Next up, Chicagoland. And that's the oval, not the street course now.
Yeah, we're not going to Grant Park. Don't worry.
If you would like to see how IndyCars perform on the Chicago street course, we have 2 really good examples of what probably will happen if we have another IndyCar race on that street course. Last Friday, the IIS broadcast, need to check that out. Some of the best drive. There was like a 3,300. It was a 3.3K strength of field. I mean, these are no slouches, and these guys are having a hard time. And then about 2 seasons ago in the FIS, we raced there, and I think 7 cars finished that race. I think 7 cars finished the IIS race. It is a tough track, but we have 2 good examples of it here on the channel. Feel free to check it out. And then we understand why when we kind of laugh a little bit when we say IndyCar is a Chicago street course.
It's like no one could really live up to Sylvester Stallone's outing on the streets of Chicago.
Oh God, that movie. And here's Caleb putting a lap on Matt Houston there. There's 2 movies on this earth that I could say I saw, and I could say I will never get that time back ever. One of them is Driven. I just can't believe I went and I sat through a movie theater for that. And the other one was Starship Troopers. That movie, for whatever reason, didn't sit well with me either. 2 movies that I will never get my time back ever.
Though, probably the only thing of value that came out of the production of Driven is, I think, this year. It was either this year or a couple years ago. Racer Magazine's Marshall Pruitt did pretty much a scene-by-scene breakdown of Driven, and you can see Marshall like literally lose his mind going through the movie.
Yeah, I like the scene where there's the car flips through the woods and lands in like a pond, and then all of a sudden fuel starts leaking from the IndyCar, and it lights on top of the water. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. That would be true. That would be awesome if IndyCars actually used petroleum-based fuel then.
Yeah, and if I recall, that scene takes place in Germany on a circuit that is, they don't say it's the Lausitzring, but it's supposed to be the Lausitzring.
Yeah. And Caleb into the pits. Very tight pit road entrance, but this is 23, so he is going to try to make this a one-stopper, and right with him is Johan Shirazi. Other cars on pit road. A lot of damaged cars on pit road at the moment. Nate Schaeffer, that was one of the ones that we apparently missed. Nate Schaeffer showing some damage on pit road. And that turns lead over to Bruno Miranda.
Yeah, let's see if Bruno, being in clean air, can give him a chance to try to pull a gap.
Yeah, showing Nate Schaeffer as out in 22nd.
Both Miranda and Johnston are in.
Yes, this is great timing. We've been talking about how these two, for the better part of the last week, have been one way or another racing in one form or another with each other, against each other, here on Race First. Bruno hitting his mark solidly there, going up on the jacks. Pneumatic jacks these cars have. They have an inlet on the back. They stick an air hose in, and little feet pop out from underneath. Jack the car up. And down and away. Bruno Miranda in that Yukos Hollinger eSports entry. In the 91. Wonder if he picked up for Buddy Lazier. Well, I'll ask him about that. So now turns the lead over to Nate Gruselski. It's been a while since we've seen him in the series. He is going long here. And he's going to turn.
Gruselski's not that far ahead of he's not that far ahead of Caleb Benson.
No,
so
we got Caleb right there. Caleb's only 2.4 behind. So Nate's going to probably have to make a turn on the pit road here. Not this time. He's going to go long. He's going to go extra long.
Well, if the sim is showing it correctly, Gruselski's on the blacks.
Yeah. But he is 17 laps into his current stint, so actually that's why he went long, actually. It looks like he might have stopped early. And actually, if I look at, if he's 17 laps into his current stint, he had a stop that lasted 8.7 seconds, so he had an early stop either to get off the reds or had some damage. With 8.7 seconds, it could be it falls in the category of a new front wing easily, as well as a top off and a new set of tires. Because normally you could get tires changed within 5 seconds. So it's going to be a little while here before Nate decides to pit. Vincey's got down to down to 2.4 into the braking zone. Now it lengthens out a little bit.
Quickly skimming back in the replays, and yes, he had Nate Gruselski did come in due to front wing damage.
All right, so that answers that question. So he actually has worked his way up to the lead very stealthily, and he's going to be up here for at least another 5 laps or so. So according to YouTube Analytics, we're now up to 54.3% of you now are not subscribers of the channel. If you could do us a favor and change that right now, if you help us on our drive to 1,000 subscribers, we are a little more than less than 100, or about 100 to go to get to 1,000. So you can be a big help by helping us get there. Do us a solid. Make sure you support us by subscribing. Like I said, just over 100 subscribers to get to the 1,000 mark. You can help us by hitting that subscribe button right now. We cannot get there without you. And while you're at it, don't forget to smash like, click the bell, so you don't miss out on future Race vs. iRacing broadcasts. And we have them almost every day of the week now during the summer. So do that for us, and we would really appreciate it. Now let's get back into it here at Road Atlanta, where our leader through pit stops is Nate Gruselski. P2 after his pit stop is Caleb Benson. P3, Bruno Miranda. P4, Nicholas Johnson. P5 right behind him, and this is growing into a good battle here between Johnston Shirazi in P5 and Brody Gardner, who worked his way up to P6. But Garner is working long, and he's going to have a run here on Shirazi. Going to get a pass here done before they get into the chicane in turns 10A and B. And there we are. And he pulls it off. He's in that Colton Herta livery. He now up into the top 5. Johan Shirazi P6. Gardner's 13 laps into his current stint, so he is probably going to pit here sometime in the next 10 laps or so. Michael DeTurk, there he is in the plain white wrapper in 7th. Nicholas Isidro, wow, worked his way up to P8, but he is due for a pit stop here relatively soon. He is 15 laps into his current stint. Yoshikawa, here's Yoshikawa. He's been in the top 10 all day. He's in P9. And Peyton Hubbard, he is due for a stop here probably within the next little bit or so. He has worked his way up to 10th. Dan Marrera working his way up to 11th there in the 4D Racewear Dallara. Christian Jasper right behind him in 12th. And Joshua Tucker up 9 spots, and he is currently in that lit race purple car in turn 1 then there. Turn 2, coming up to turn 3. There he is. Caleb Bency now is your leader with Gruszewski on pit road.
So I feel like I should expand on how Gruszewski damaged his front wing earlier on in the race, because on lap 6, the start of lap 6, he was going for a move around Nate Schaeffer, and it seems like heading into 1, they just both drove into the same spot, made contact. Gruszewski lost the left side of his front wing while Nate was sent off into the gravel.
Wow, so that's what happened to Nate. So that's going to be, I'm sure that's definitely going to be looked at by the stewards. But right now we have, I think we're going to have a battle for the lead here shaping up as Bruno Miranda trying to run down Caleb Bency. Last time by, Bruno Miranda quicker by 4/10. And Caleb has a little bit of lap traffic in front of him, and Ben Carswell. I imagine Carswell probably should get out of the way, probably on the backstretch area. Coming into the S's downhill. This is actually a pretty fast portion of the racetrack. It's almost like a slalom. So this reminds me, though, speaking of slalom, a very famous IndyCar driver who turned team owner, Dick Simon. Remember Dick Simon?
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew this or not, but Dick Simon was actually a suspect in the D.B. Cooper hijacking and robbery.
I did not know that.
Yeah, there was a certain number of criteria that people were looking for to be a suspect of that heist. One of which is being a pilot, which I guess Simon was, jumping out of airplanes, which Simon has done, and being able to familiar with the Northwest, and as well as skiing and knowing how to survive out in the wilderness. And I guess Dick Simon met all of those criteria, and somehow put him on the FBI's radar to be a suspect in the D.B. Cooper case. So the FBI actually came to Dick Simon to talk to him about it. And I think Dick Simon actually had a solid alibi. I think he was at an event in Las Vegas. But it's kind of funny that Dick Simon, of all people, was a suspect in the D.B. Cooper hijacking and robbery back in the 70s and early 80s there.
Yeah, it's still one of the most notorious unsolved heists in American history.
Well, here's our leader, not stealing it by any means, Caleb Bency. 31 coming to 32 here, starting lap 32 right there, crossing the line. Very quick exit off the final corner. We'll bring back up the track map for you if you're not familiar with Road Atlanta. So let's see, the Indy Lights raced here. But I want to find out what year they did that. We could talk about that a little bit. 2001? Okay. Okay. Everybody should be familiar with who sat on the pole here and won the race at Road Atlanta that year. Dan Weldon.
Dan Weldon.
Dan Weldon won the race here, yeah. And Townsend Bell, T-Bell, who was on our NTT IndyCar coverage. He was the pole setter here. This was round 10 of 12 back in the 2001 season. And these guys were prepping themselves to make a later appearance in either kart or the IRL at the time.
Yeah, because by 2000, I would have guessed that it would have been Townsend who won, because I'm pretty sure he won at least like half the races that season.
Well, the fields weren't very big, I think, but let me look here. And T-Bell finished second, finished 2/10 back, so he was right on Dan for the entire last lap. Townsend Bell, Dan Weldon, Townsend Bell, Damian Faulkner, Mario Dominguez, who had a cup of coffee in the IndyCar series for a while, and John Fogarty.
Man, it was clearly in the middle of the split.
Yeah.
Because while there were two separate IndyCar series, there were also two different series just underneath the top level, because there was also the Atlantics.
Yes. Yep. We're watching our leader right now. He's coming up to some lap traffic. Big field here. Lap traffic is going to be a situation all day long. And we're coming very quickly to 10 to go. And while we're doing it, we better get a word in here from Schaeffer's. So stand by. We'll be right back after a quick word from our title sponsor.
There's two types of drivers out there. Drivers who know how to protect their investment and drivers who don't. Car owners who know how to get more miles per gallon and owners who don't. We're talking people who know their Schaeffer and people who don't. Which one are you? From cars to trucks to diesel workhorses, whatever you drive, there's a Schaeffer synthetic oil for you. Do you know your Schaeffer? Ask for it at an automotive retailer near you.
All right, we're back. Thanks, Schaeffer, again. Also, do want to point out and thank tonight race sponsorship by Salem Oaks. Watching Caleb here in a battle with Bruno. Coming down to the chicane. That is Josh Tucker right in front of him. Oh, Josh Tucker goes low. I didn't think Caleb wanted him to do that. Caleb's really pulled away there after battling with... oh, you know what? That was not Bruno Miranda. That is a team car. Oh, no, that's J.J. Wang. Okay.
Yeah.
That's J.J. They look so much identical. All right, anyway, sorry. Salem Oaks' mission is to offer all people involved in healthcare the tools to work together to develop better treatments for a wide range of diseases. They offer education opportunities for a practice to build confidence for patients and their support networks, along with the goal of increased collaboration and changing the current healthcare climate. For more information about them and what they do, check their site at SalemOaks.com. SalemOaks.com, all one word. I want to thank them again for being a sponsor of tonight's race. So I got a little confused there with JJ and his car looking a little bit like Bruno Miranda. Bruno Miranda with the shout-outs here in chat. We want to appreciate them for all the fans being here for, I guess the nickname they want to give him is the Storm. So Bruno the Storm Miranda. I would have said something about Miranda rights, about, you have the right to let me pass you, you have the right to not complain when I pass you, something like that. That'd be funny, actually. That was.
Yeah.
Miranda rights normally aren't funny, but you know, if you can make them funny. You have a right to be passed. If you don't like that right to be passed, I can appoint a pass to you. You know. 9 laps to go. Bincy maintaining a 2.3 second lead over Miranda. Johnson, Shirazi a little bit further back, and P5 is Gruchelski. And there he is right there. He's got a solid P5 at the moment, but no one to race with. Michael DeTurk kind of in the same situation. He's in P6. Yoshikawa also in the same situation, all by himself. He's in 7th. And Dan Barrera, a bit of the same as well. He is in 8th. With lap car of, I believe that is Hunter Ingram, is that Hunter? Yeah, it's Hunter right there in the snap-on car. Yeah. And Hunter's going to pass him, but hopefully Dan knows this isn't for position. Hunter taking an aggressive approach down here into the chicane. And he just outbreaks him, and I think Dan just did the wise thing there. All of a sudden, see Matt Houston jumping up to 7th. That's not right. Let's refresh the overlay. Let's get good timing of scoring up here. Miranda has cut it down to 1.8. Somehow Matt Houston has miraculously tied his teammate somehow and has made it to the top of the standings. Where is he? There he is. He's going to the S. Something's not right with timing and scoring, obviously. No, it's not a race first conspiracy. Oh, we got a battle back here. Take a look here. Nick Johnson and Johan Shirazi. They are run on top of one another right now.
And they were fighting for that last step on the podium.
Shirazi taking a peek. He's going to stay there. Going to the top of the hill.
Finals back.
Yeah, you can't do 2 wide to the top of the hill and through the S's. Not in these cars, anyways.
It's like you could do it in a GT car.
Well, I would say something that has some fenders that you can lean on the other guy a little bit with. As what's that Darrell Waltrip likes to say is, why use 4 tires when you can use 8?
I mean, numbers never lie.
Right. And be it far from me to use the down-home country quips of a NASCAR driver in an IndyCar race, but I guess it's true. Shirazi's going to seek his nose down there going into 10A and 10B, and he pulls it off. But he's still going to get out there fast. Johnson still's got some speed side by side coming to the bottom of the hill. They're going to go side by side into the final corner down the main straight. Still side by side. Shirazi not giving him any inch. They're coming into 1. Oh,
still side by side. Someone's gonna have to yield.
Oh, and I tell you what, I think Johnston made the right move there because he is the points leader, and if he somehow crashed out early to someone making their first start of the season, he might not live that one down to himself personally. So that might have been a discretion rather than valor move.
Yes.
This overlay is awful today. I mean, I'm sure Matt would like to see himself in P1. Continuing to watch this battle for right at the podium step. There we go. We have shook it out a little bit. Matt's down in 18th. With 4 laps to go, and this race has gone by really, really quick. Miranda's cut down the lead to Bensi to 0.6 of a second, 0.6. So while we got a little time here, a little self-promotion, Ryan, you got some big names that you're going to be talking to this week?
Oh, yes. Over at my day job at Jalopnik, I do have a couple of interviews ready to go out. Speaking about, well, us covering this road race here and NASCAR having their road race at Watkins Glen, they have a number of big-name international drivers coming over to do a couple one-off appearances. And I have an interview with, Le Mans, two-time Le Mans winner with Audi, Mike Rockenfeller, who will be appearing with Spire Motorsports. And also, I have an interview scheduled with former Formula One driver David Coulthard to hear his opinions about the Formula One season so far.
Should ask him what he thought of Nashville if he saw the IndyCar race.
A lot of people had opinions after that.
Yeah, well, yeah. And I think we saw a Newgarden turn heel, which might be a good thing. The All-American boy, blonde, blue-eyed boy, turns heel. I think that's a good heel turn. Miranda down to 3/10 at the top of the hill. So yeah, check that out. That's all on jalopnik.com.
Yes, it's going to be on jalopnik.com over the coming days. It's like, I think, Friday and Monday for each of the interviews, respectively.
Do you remember when NASCAR used to come to those tracks? They only came to the 2 tracks a year, Sears Point and, Miranda, getting squirrely coming out the corner. He is sideways. He is perpendicular to the track right now. He is going to give up the position to Nicholas Johnson, and that is a free podium spot.
Wow. Oh, man. And Schaeffer's never disappoints.
No. And that is Caleb Bensi. I think that's pretty much all he needs to do is hit his marks and bring this car home. One more lap to go here for the Petit Indy, sponsored by Salem Oaks. But it used to be that the 2 NASCAR races would be at Sears Point and Watkins Glen, and it would just be like a couple ringers. It would be like Ron Fellows and Boris Said. And then all of a sudden the NASCAR drivers became good at road courses, and now the ringers typically aren't always the favorites anymore in these races. But it's good to see the ringers are still making appearances, though.
The ringers are certainly on a whole nother level now. You have Mike Rockenfeller, who's won Le Mans twice, won at Daytona, and the Nürburgring 24-hour. You have Kimi Räikkönen, a former Formula One world champion.
Yeah, for Ferrari, yeah.
It's like the caliber of ringer is certainly improved.
Well, no ringers here. Your 3-time defending RIL champion, who won by a scant slimmest of margins last season for the series championship, looking to make a campaign to make it 2 in a row as he wins here at Road Atlanta.
What a race. I'm never disappointed on a Wednesday night.
if we can get a better spot of him doing donuts here. There we go. There's a good shot. That'll show up on a hero card, probably done by Dakota DeMate at some point. There we go. Well, let's take a look at the final results from here from Road Atlanta. Caleb Binsey, your winner. Nicholas Johnson, P2. Bruno Miranda managed to get up to P3. Something happened to Shirazi there on the last lap. We're not sure. So Miranda recovers to get that bottom step. Those are going to be some critical points. Nate Kruselski, despite an early collision with the other Nate, Schaeffer, he works his way up to 5th. The Turk in 6th. Yoshikawa, very quiet, top 10 all day long in 7th. Peyton Hubbard, 8th. JJ Wang, 9th. And Christian Jasper in 10th. Joshua Tucker, Spath, Dan Marrero, Cosgrove, Ingrev make up your top 15 there. Matt Houston works his way up to 16th. Carswell 17th. Isidro 18th. Gardner 19th. Will Riceford III, World War III, gets 20th. The top 25 is DeMade, Seifert, Moss, Miglin, and Smith. Top 26, top 30 now is Donchek, Miller, Libertor, White, and Kresge. And I believe that the rest were Derek Smith. I think we only had a car count. I'm not sure what the field count was, but I don't think Kresge and Smith qualified. So that rounds out today's field.
Like, looking at a replay of the final lap, I can't tell if Shirazi has run, like, close to running out of fuel or completely runs out. But he slows up and lets most of the cars that were on the lead lap by.
Huh, did he cut the corner possibly? He cut it. That's the only thing that would force him to slow down, other than possibly getting.
No, he didn't cut any corner.
No, okay. All right, let's go ahead and let's bring in the interviews here. And I know that he has Lionheart that he needs to get to, so we will go ahead and bring up Caleb first. If he's in there, there he is. And we'll bring him up first. Hey, Caleb, we got you in the booth. We know you're crunched for time, so we'll go ahead and get the winner's interview out of the way first here. Almost seemed like a bit of a boring race. I mean, we're sitting here calling, and as soon as you got the lead, you kind of maintain your distance, and no one really got within much more than less than a second behind you, that close to throughout much of the race. Smooth pit stops, not much problems with traffic. Was there any challenge in this for you?
Oh, yeah, for sure. This was a fuel save race.
Yeah,
big time.
Yeah.
So, honest, that was probably the most satisfying race I've had in a very, very long time. Pace felt good, and it just was able to hit fuel numbers and still have pretty good pace. So, I think if you just straight out, I think that final stint had to save like 2 to 3 laps, which is obviously quite a bit. And you have to hold Miranda off and try to push. So, flipping between maps, trying to lift as much as I could, just let him catch. I had enough saved actually to go full tilt for like the last lap and a half if he did get close enough. So honestly, that's the most satisfying, well-rounded race I think I've had in a very, very long time.
So you were saving in that last stint?
Oh, a ton, yeah.
But your fastest lap was in that last stint.
Was it really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, good to know. I don't know. I was actually kind of surprised at the numbers I was getting too, because like I was like well to the like half a lap to the good with what I was doing. I was in map 3 the whole the entire stint. I didn't leave map 3, lifting in the braking zones and stuff. So I always whine and complain about setups all the time. You hear it, Matt hears it.
Yeah.
And this one, it had a little bit of a light feel to it, but just balance-wise, that was exactly what I'm talking about and what I like. So, you could just
go ahead.
Pushing harder actually like rewarded you in terms of stepping the rear out, getting on throttle early, hanging on, and that's just what I love. So, lifting early and then getting that hard power off and just trying to maintain the rears, all that while safe fuel, just I guess came together pretty well for me there. So
Yeah, gets the Bincy stamp of approval at setup. Maybe Ryan can look on the stats there, but it was like 3 laps from the end. You did your best lap.
Yeah, which that's pretty surprising because, like I said, I was still lifting big in the brake zones and still on map 3. So, I mean, I'll take that.
But when talking about the real IndyCar guys, a comment that I make a lot, and that a lot of other journalists make a lot, that at certain venues, Scott Dixon just seems to sweat fuel, where he can still maintain like speed and save fuel, and you were sweating fuel tonight.
Yeah, which I'd never, if there's like on the edge of a fuel race, non-fuel race, 2-stop, 3-stop, I typically don't do the fuel save option, so maybe I need to start doing that more, because at least here it worked out pretty well. So yeah, obviously very, very happy with that.
All right, well, shout outs and everything before we let you go, because I'm right there with you. I'll be joining you as soon as we get off the air here. But Lionheart tonight at Road America, so another road track. I'm sure your outlook's going to be good there. But shout outs for everyone here in the RIL, and you're making a lunge there here towards the #1 points spot, and that's exactly where you want to be, being a 3-time champ.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that Road Atlanta race or Road America race. I don't know if I'm gonna have confidence in that or just be extra tired now. But yeah, obviously, we want to thank you guys as always. Put on a good broadcast. Fawn and Fanny, if you haven't checked it out. Custom body care, all that stuff. And then all the family and friends who are watching. I know grandparents, parents, whoever else is tuned in. Yeah, obviously very happy to get a road win. It's probably been a season or two at least, so yeah, very, very, very content with that one, and yeah, definitely helps for the points as well.
Well, I would say they pretty much dominated the day. It didn't look like really anyone was there to challenge you, and pulls off a win at Road Atlanta. So go ahead, catch your breath, go get a drink, whatever, hit the restroom, and then we'll catch you here in a little bit at Virtual Road America, for where I'm sure the top 25 is going to be separated by 1/10 of a second, knowing that place in IndyCars and then Lionheart. But good luck there, and we will see you here in a week or so at Chicagoland, not the street course, but the oval. But until then, good luck and congratulations, and we'll catch you in a week.
Yep, appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Yep. All right. We do not have Bruno. Normally he sends me a note, and I have not got a note yet from him of what he thought about his race. Of course, Bruno, his native language is not English. Man, I wish we had Antonio. Antonio Estrada, my Thursday partner for the Brazilian stock car series. Yeah, he's a native from Mexico, and whenever we get a Spanish speaker, it's like, you got this interview, man. I'll just sit here and tell me when you're done, you know. All right, well, we'll bring up Nicholas Johnson, who we darn well know speaks English because, gosh, he's been in the booth so many times with us. Here's Nicholas Johnson. Nick, you had that battle there with Shirazi, and you worked your way up into a podium spot, and then Bruno has a bit of a mistake there with 2 to go, and you picked that up, and all in all, you only lost points to 1 driver, and other than that, you put points on everybody else you needed to put points on.
Yeah, really not too bad of a night. I knew it was going to be a one-stop race, so we had to fuel save a lot. And I was thinking I was saving just the right amount there on that second run, and I came across the line sputtering, and I don't know, Caleb had some really good pace on to be able to do 23 laps and that kind of pace. For some reason, I couldn't match that tonight, so is what it is. Yeah,
he said he was fuel saving on his last stint, but yet turned his fastest lap in the like 3 laps from the end or something like that. Pretty amazing, but you're right. He definitely had the touch tonight. But again, not too bad for you. Still the points leader. And we're going to, well, it could be a gotcha race next week, Chicagoland. Could be a pack race, could be, but we've seen you in the last couple pack races, and you've done reasonably well what are your thoughts about going off to Chicagoland with only 3 races left here in this championship and being on the verge of possibly getting this championship for you?
Yeah, it'll be really interesting going to Chicago, see how things go. I think I'm going to stick with my same strategy of keeping all 4 wheels and both wings on it and see where we end up at the end. Be aggressive, but be smart about it. See how we can go. I fell behind Caleb, actually. Caleb's now the points leader, so.
Oh, did he make up that point on you? Okay, well, it's still plenty of time. Still lots can happen. Like if you remember last year, it literally came down to the last stint of the last race where eventually the winner was kind of decided. So still a long way to go. I wouldn't sweat it quite yet, and you sound pretty chill about it, so I don't think you're too worried about much of anything. Like I said, keeping the wheels on it typically at a race like Chicagoland's a pretty good strat. Ryan, you got any questions?
No questions really. I'd say only tip I have to give to you next week at Chicagoland: if you really need every inch on the track, just mount the transponder to your car upside down.
Does that work?
Sounds like a good strategy.
No, that's a reference to a certain IndyCar race at Chicagoland.
Was that where they put the okay? That's as to where one of the finishes was a lot closer than it looked because the transponder
Ganassi
was
Ganassi had mounted the transponder upside down in their car.
Gotcha. Yeah, I remember that now. Yeah. All right, Nick. I mean, man, we've had you in the booth so many times. I'm sure you want to say thanks to the girlfriend and the rest of your friends and get ready to go play some Counter-Strike. So we'll go ahead and do it one more time. Go ahead and do your shout-outs. Anybody you like to say hi to, thank for whatever, and sponsors, what have you?
Shoot, pretty soon here. You can just do it for me.
No, I can't thank your girlfriend for you. You have to do that.
Yeah, I better. No, thank you, Danielle, babe, for watching. Appreciate it. Sorry I couldn't win tonight or last night. I'm just first loser, but is what it is. Thanks to you guys for putting on the broadcast every week, and then Revolution League for putting on this series, Schaeffer for sponsoring it, and a big thanks to the TWR guys, especially Nate. Unfortunately, Nate got knocked out early there, and he kind of became my de facto strategist to kind of help me guide me through that second stint of what other people were doing and what the strategies were looking like, and I was able to just use just enough fuel, so that worked out really great. Really thankful for him. Wish he could have had a better finish because he definitely had pace. So it's what it is. We'll go in these final 3 races, knowing that we got to do our best and finish up towards the front. I feel really good about both Indy races, so we'll see how it goes.
All right,
guys.
All righty. Well, I think a little bit of today was a little bit of survival of the fittest as well. I see a lot of unforced errors, and you kept it between the lines and damage-free. Got yourself a podium there, and managed to improve an extra spot on the podium there in the end, thanks to another driver's mistake. So almost all came up Nicholas today, but not quite. Didn't get that win, but still, I think you're in a solid position here to finish this season strong. So congratulations, and we will see you in a week.
Ciao.
All right, Ryan, final thoughts here on Road Atlanta.
Oh, every time we go into a road course, I'm always a bit wary. I'm like, maybe someone will run away with it and it won't be close. Though every time I feel that way, something immediately upends that, and we saw that tonight.
Yeah, we sure did. And we saw a couple people that had a good shot remove themselves from race contention or a good finish just by forced errors and unforced errors, excuse me. And the guys that kept it straight and narrow were the ones that finished 1 and 2. Next week, Chicagoland. You talked about where to put your transponder, so we know where to do that. But thoughts on Chicagoland with 3 weeks to go left here in the season? Could be one of those gotcha races.
Yeah, it could be one of those gotcha races. It's deceivingly narrow at Chicagoland. The back straight is, slightly curved, and especially on corner exits, there's not that much room. just if some person makes contact with someone else, they're likely going to cause a pretty large accident that's going to take out 3 or more cars.
Yep. So it's I think it's one of those races that you won't want to miss. Typically, the RIL puts on good pack races, and especially on pack racing that you have on these intermediate ovals, they do a pretty good job there. So don't miss it. That's next week. But let's get on out of here. Send everyone back home so they can take over the rest of their Wednesday night. Gosh, midweek. This week has flown by. I'll tell you why it's flown by for me, but for some people, maybe it's been really, really slow. But that's it for tonight. Once again, your podium from Road Atlanta is Caleb Vincey, the 3-time defending champion, trying to put his stamp on this championship late in the season with the win. Nicholas Johnson trying to keep pace there in P2, and Bruno Miranda survives and gets a podium. We'll get some words from him, hopefully, in direct messages, and those can probably be found later on the Discord server. So that is your podium. Once join Raceverse again next week. It'll be coming to you from Chicagoland Speedway, the home of Juliet Jake, for round 10 of the Revolution Indy League's Schaeffer IndyCar Series. That's next Wednesday night with the start time roughly 7:45 p.m. Eastern time right here on YouTube, give or take. Depends on when I hit the live button. Now, as you know, but then when I don't need to go to the restroom, right when I hit that live button. Now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm, the game is not easy, so please help support Raceverse with the weekly grind. Leave a comment below and let us know about tonight's race. And if you enjoyed tonight's coverage, support us by smashing like in the video. I mean, that doesn't hurt you to do anything like that. Just go down there, hit the thumbs up, just like that. Boom. Would appreciate it. If you're new, click subscribe, and even if you're not new and you haven't click subscribe, and while you're at it, hit the bell for weekly reminders so you don't miss out on more of Raceverse's other iRacing programming, including the 4D Racewear, Monday Night Indy Fix Top Split, of course, the Tuesday night Raceverse Formula Indy Series. Thursdays, we'll be doing the Stock Carnival Day to Brazil series, and on IndyCar Friday, so NTT IndyCar weekends, the Friday before, we'll be covering the top split of the IndyCar iRacing series at 2 p.m. on those Fridays. Make sure to check the bell and everything that you don't miss out on all of those fine programs, because we are showing almost one day a week, just about almost right now. So keep your browser set here for the most in-depth knowledge on all of iRacing. Raceverse, we know what Indy means. Petit Indy from Road Atlanta, race sponsorship paid for by Salem Oaks. Salem Oaks' mission is to offer all people involved in healthcare the tools to work together to develop better treatments for a wide range of diseases. They offer education opportunities for a practice to build confidence for patients and their support networks, along with the goal of increased collaboration and the changing current healthcare climate. For more information, check out their site, salemoaks.com. Revolution IndyCar League Schaeffer's IndyCar Series naming rights are paid for by Schaeffer Oil. Racing's in their blood. It's what they love. At Schaeffer, their racing products help racing teams spend less on resources on replacing parts and changing fluids and more time out on the track. Check out SchaefferOil.com, where you can search for the nearest retailer in your area, or click on their link in the broadcast description below. For business inquiries, make sure to visit raceverse.com. And for Twitter, well, here's all of our handles right here at the bottom of the screen. Raceverse, myself, and Ryan Eric King. Definitely want to follow Ryan, because he's got some interviews lined up that you will not want to miss. So for Ryan Eric King, everyone at Raceverse, I'm Gary Gotson saying to all, thanks for watching, and to all of our men and women in the military and as first responders, Godspeed, God bless, and come home safe. Thanks again. Catch us next week in Joliet for the next race of the Revolution Indy League's Schaeffer's IndyCar Series. Good night.